Welcome back. This is Lincoln's Journal. Well, it says, rescued the women Merle Jackson was holding prisoner over at Perla's. Those Dixie motherfuckers are gonna pay for what they've done. Sammy's old bartender, Mr. LaVue, told me Merle Jackson turned Perla's into a strip club. That Merle runs a brutal, forced prostitution business. Out of here, out of there. I'm gonna see about freeing some of the girls he's kidnapped. I acquired the Trench 1938 Drum SMG, classic piece of hardware. The drum magazine means having enough ammo to clear out any hole, room, or wherever the hell the enemy's trying to hide. After losing his girls and his pimps, Merle Jackson's come back to Doucette's to try and salvage what's left of his operation. Time for me to head over there and bury that motherfucker. I killed Merle Jackson, a Dixie pimp motherfucker who was running girls out of Doucette's. With some of the cash he's been getting from Cassandra, DuVernay's rigged up the Screamin' Zemi for me. It's a voodoo doll equipped with a sound, which is perfect for preying on folks' superstitions. Me and Donovan chatted about Charlie Kincaid, the Dixie fucker running smack out of the old community church. Before I can move against Kincaid directly, I need to set up a wiretap and gather intel on his racket. These are my assets. I only have Cassandra right now, the head of the Haitian mob, Delray Hollow. Don't know how old she is. She's the leader of the Haitian mob, which she runs out of Voodoo Shop in Delray Hollow. And here's a document prepared by John Donovan. I've got next to nothing on Cassandra, if that's even her real name. Once you made contact, I went to her shop and lifted her prints. Neither the feds nor the local swinging dicks came back with a hit. As for that voodoo shop of hers, the property was last sold to a man named Klimek Eugene Robbins back in 1905. How Cassandra ended up with it is anybody's guess. Now for what I do know, about 18 months ago, the pencil pushers in the borough start keeping tabs on a black militant group organizing on outer fringes of the hollow. The group's mainly comprised of displaced Haitian nationals, along with any neighborhood folks who don't see eye to eye with Sammy. Eventually, they start targeting Sammy's businesses, which is where you come in, or I come in. The tricky thing is that everyone, and I mean everyone, thought Baca was leading the Haitians. So how does a woman build up a criminal organization out of thin air, all while keeping her identity completely hidden? Beats the hell out of me, but Cassandra did it. Have to guess, I'd say her sincere belief in black liberation and voodoo played a role in it. Tread carefully with this one, because if she thinks for even a minute that your agenda and hers don't match, she's coming after your ass. For the kill list now, we got this Dixie Mafia assholes. After Sammy's death, Georgie Marcano puts the Dixie Mafia in charge of the hollow. Since then, those rednecks have been funneling drugs into the hollow and trafficking black prostitutes out. The Dixie Mafia has existed in some form since Reconstruction, when they used to rob wagon trains and extort Confederate widows. Since then, they've flirted with nearly every criminal activity there is. Moonshine, guns, stolen property, you name it. About 10 years ago, they appear on the Fed's radar after a series of black churches were bombed. No one was ever charged, but their bread and butter is organized crime. Still, they're not about to let a little thing like racial purity stop them from working with the Italian mob to build their rep and expand their reach. Back in '65, when the Marcanos were trying to quell friction between the swamp people who made their moonshine and Roman, the butcher Barberi, who wanted a larger cut out of the action, The Dixie Mafia stepped in and brokered a deal. Ever since, Sal turns to the Dixie Mafia when he needs muscle. After Sal and Georgia murder your family, they hand the hall over to those goddamn rednecks. They're led by a dumbass named Richie Doucette. Analysts. They're hillbilly idiots, but they're smart enough to know that if they fuck up, Sal will turn their asses into mulch. They'll do whatever it takes to keep the hollow. After a firebombing in '62, this church sits abandoned for a few years until Sammy Robinson starts to renovate it. When the Dixie Mafia takes over the hollow, they decide to use the church as a hub for drug peddling. Once the Dixie Mafia gets its claws in the hollow, they take over Perla's and turn it into a strip club that brutally exploits the black woman of the hollow. Merle Trigger Jackson, a sadist and a pimp. Merle uses smack to keep his girls compliant. He takes pride in knowing that if rich white men want to experience exotic sex, they'll come to him first. Four-Finger Charlie Kincaid, 25. Despite being the scion of a well-respected Dixie Mafia family, Charlie's not actually much of a true believer. He'll turn on the rest of those Dixie pricks in a heartbeat if it means keeping his head attached to his neck. And we got this Salvatore Sal Marcano. Rackets is New Bordeaux, LA, Louisiana. It's the whole freaking state. Here's the dossier. In 1914, while Sal's still pissing his diapers in Baton Rouge, his old man Valerio is in New Bordeaux hustling as a low-level foot soldier for the Carrillo crime family. Valerio's something of a fuck-up in a classic sense, so all he's got to show for his hard work is a mountain of gambling debt and a shitty wooden shack on the edge of River Row. That's where he's living when his boys move in with him in 26. A short time after moving in with his old man, Sal starts pulling jobs for the Carrillos. According to the Louisiana Department of Corrections, Sal was just 17 when he's sent to the state penitentiary at Cordoba for B&Es committed around the French ward. While in the joint, Sal cozies up with Giuseppe Carrillo and saves the old man when someone tries to shank him. In return, Giuseppe takes Sal under his wing and promises to fold him into the family once they've both done their time. The falling out between Sal and Giuseppe is the stuff of local legend. The official story goes that Valerio's gambling debts finally catch up to him in '34, and Giuseppe orders Valerio's murder. Sal gets out of prison, rallies his brothers, and declares war on the Carrillos. Truth is that Sal let his old man die. Giuseppe owes Sal for saving his life and offers to wipe Valerio's debts clean. Sal turns him down, knowing full well it means his old man's going to get whacked. Sal lies to his brothers, tells them they need to exact revenge, and that's the end of the dear old Giuseppe. Sal assumes control of New Bordeaux and installs his brother as his capital. With their help, he's held on to the city for over 30 years. These days, Sal's busy grooming his son Georgie to follow in his footsteps. Since his wife Virginia died in '57, Sal and Georgie have been inseparable, with the old man doing everything he can to prepare his boy for the life. Unfortunately, growing up in a lap of luxury sent Georgie the wrong message. He carries himself like his shit doesn't stink, which annoys the hell out of the rank and file. So far, the only thing he's been in charge of is handing the hollow over to those Dixie assholes. Weird thing is, Sal seems to have faith in this kid, which means George isn't a lightweight. If Sal thinks he can groom George into someone who'll take over the city, he's probably right. Analysis: Sal and Georgie killed everyone you love. Bury the motherfuckers. That's about it on information. Alright, this is what we're doing. They interrogate Charlie's pushers. Charlie's got Big Al slinging smack out of the shotgun shack Doucette had his boys take over. Civilians in the area could be trouble, so watch yourself. Got it bugged, so we're good. See ya.